Welcome to episode 2 of BrewMaster with Game Year Skimming. Today we are going to take a look at our first issue of Brewers Quarterly, where we'll take a look at our first jobs and our recipes. So we're going to go ahead and click on this here. And then we're going to get a note from Jeff here. And it says, "Greetings, brewer. Do you know what the best thing about brewing beer is? People want to drink it. Few folks in the world are more popular than a home brewer. I've sent you a copy of the Brewers Quarterly, a magazine run by the Community Brew Club, including yours truly. Each issue contains a bounty for home brewers, recipes, articles, a catalog, and last but not least, jobs. Which brings me back to your popularity. A brewer's services are always in demand, and jobs are a great way to earn an income, whilst increasing your brewing mastery. Why not give one a go?" And then our objective for this season is to complete a job. So if we click on the title of the cover here, at the start of each season, you'll find new jobs, recipes, and articles in the Brewers Quarterly. These will be automatically added to your journal and Brewpedia, which will subsequently grow as you progress through the game. There will be 2 new jobs every season, each offering rewards such as beer tokens, mastery, and sometimes special items. You're free to complete one, both, or neither. It's up to you, although for this part of the tutorial, you'll need to complete at least one. Each job comes with its own set of requirements that need to be met by your beer in order to complete the job. They also have an optional bonus requirement that grants an extra reward if met. So here we have job 1. The batch size has to be small. It has to contain the flavor note of citrus. And the bonus requirement is the IBU has to be at least 20. Jeff gives us a tip here that says the recipe for American Pale Ale extract has the required citrus flavor note. And then over here, the dark matter one, again, we have batch size is small. We have to use the ingredient dark malt extract, and then the bonus requirement is the SRM, which is how dark the beer is, has to be at least 20. And then Jeff gives us the tip that for American Stout, extract is the ideal for this job as it uses the dark malt extract, which would give us the required SRM. And then it gives us a little like flavor script of for the job. Like for dark matter here, it says a local band wished to mark the release of their first record, a space-themed concept album with a beer. As dark as the depths of the universe, quarterly readers are invited to submit an appropriately dusky brew. Um, Here it gives us our rewards. So if we just do the basic requirements of the job, we would get our mastery would go up by 1, and we would get 50 beer tokens. Beer tokens are the currency in the game that we can use to purchase equipment and ingredients in the game. And if we complete the bonus requirement, we would get an additional mastery level. And then over here, we can see what the difficulty is. So we're just going to select one. We're going to actually do both of these jobs. But for right now, we're just going to select one. So let's just pick one. Now that we have a recipe, now that we have our job selected, let's pick our recipe. There will usually be 2 new recipes in each issue of the Brewers Quarterly, which are automatically added to your collection of recipes in your journal. Each recipe shows the required equipment and ingredients, the steps involved, and the estimated final stats of the beer. When doing a job, you'll usually want to pin a recipe that matches the job's requirements. For example, if the job requires a certain ingredient, you should find a recipe that contains it. Pinned recipes will appear on the HUD so you can easily follow the steps whilst brewing. So we can look at the recipes. If we click on the little down arrows down here, we can flip-flop between the 2 recipes. And then if we want to pin it, we can either click on this right here, or we can hit space and it'll pin the recipe. Pinned recipes like tracked jobs can be changed at any time. You can do this in the recipe section in the Brewers Quarterly or in your journal.
Each issue of the Brews Quarterly also includes beer-related articles, which are automatically added to the Brewpedia, great for expanding your brewing knowledge. When you're ready, select the catalog. This is where you can buy the ingredients needed for your pinned recipe. So, if we click on articles, this is where it gives you like the history of beer brewing. Uh, it gives you like Leek Erikson, and the Vikings and late colonists. This looks like something from Prohibition. Um, Mass producing beer. This is with the 18th Amendment and Prohibition. So it gives you the history of it and everything. Um, and if we click on catalog, it takes us into like the in-game store where we could buy our equipment and ingredients that we'll use to brew our beer. The catalog is where you could buy brewing equipment and ingredients as well as cosmetics to decorate your workshop. More items will unlock as you progress through the game, so it's worth visiting every season. The pinned recipes tab is a useful way of viewing all the items required for your currently pinned recipe. So if we click on the pinned recipes tab right here, it'll go through everything here and it'll show us what we need for our recipe. Here you can see all the equipment and ingredients required for your currently pinned recipe, including those you already own. Any that you don't own can be bought immediately. Yeah, okay. So basically what it was saying is if we already own it, it's going to have a check mark right here. So these, as you can see, we already own these, so it's already checked. The black patent staplable grain we don't own. So we can either click on it so that it's highlighted, or we can double click it so that we automatically purchase it. But if we highlight it, and then we can either A, hit F to add it to the cart, which we can see up here in the cart, or we can highlight it and then click on this down here and it'll add it to our cart. Here we can see how much our cart is going to cost, and then down here is how many beer tokens we have. So we have 135 tokens. To buy both of these hops, it's going to cost us 20 beer tokens. So we have plenty of tokens to buy what we need. If we click on this, it's going to take us to our cart, and then we can either A, hit F to buy all, or we can just click on this to buy all. And then if we go back to our recipe, and then we pin this recipe, and we go back to the catalog and pin recipes, we can click on these and buy those as well. And I'm also going to look at buying another fermentation container. All right, so let's take a look at our jobs here. So we're going to do sensational citrus. So let's do our recipe here, and Jeff recommends we do the American Pale Ale. So let's pin American Pale Ale. So if you notice on the right hand side, we have our recipe pinned. So if we go into our kitchen, and then after we purchase, all of our purchases come in a box immediately right here. There's like no wait time or anything. So if we just click on E to open up the box, and then we can either hit the space bar on our keyboard, or if we click on this, it'll automatically move everything to their respective storage areas, whether it be the refrigerator, the equipment chest, or the ingredients cupboard. So let's go ahead and start brewing here. We're going to need our brew pot. We're going to put it in the sink, take the lid off, and we're going to fill it up with 20 liters of water. And then we're going to need malt extract. We're going to need light malt extract.
And I forgot to look to see how much we're going to need. We need 250. So here, if you notice, it goes up by a certain amount. Like I can't select 250 kilograms. I could do 200. I could do 2 kilograms and 3 kilograms. So we're going to have to pick the 3 kilograms. And then when we come over here, if you notice where it says light malt extract underneath the can there, it says 3 kilograms and then 0 milliliters poured. We're going to have to watch how much we pour. And we're going to have to measure out 2.50 kilograms. And then if we hit the P button, it's going to put a check mark next to each step. So our next is steepable grain. We need 400 grams of ultra pale crystal. And now we're going to heat our wort up to 100 degrees Celsius. Alright, so our wort is already boiling. So now we need to remove our steepable grain from the brew container. So we could just go ahead and throw that out. And now we need to add our hops. So we need to add our 20 grams Troy. And our 50 Winatachi. Okay, so Trohi is going to go in for 50 minutes. So we're going to do this till it is 1:45. And then we're going to add in our second one. And then we're going to do this for another 10 minutes at 1:55. And then we're going to remove both of these. And now we're going to cool our wort down to 20 degrees. And the way we do that for now is we remove it from the heat. And we're going to have to advance the calendar by 1 day. And now our wort is cooled down to 20 degrees. So now we can transfer it to a fermentation container. We'll pop the lid off. And we'll go ahead and pour our wort into the fermentation container. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our SoCal yeast. So here we have an option. We can just go ahead and continue. So the season won't progress until we go over and we click on the front door to progress to the next season. So we can either A, completely brew this beer up and then complete the job, or we could go ahead and do the second beer. I went ahead and purchased the second fermentation container. So we could go ahead and do the second beer right now if we wanted to. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. If you hit the tab key, it'll take you back into basically this screen right here, which is your journal. And in your journal screen, you could see like your overview, which is your mastery level, if you're in any current competitions, uh, any recent recipes you've learned, current jobs that you have, um, where you're at in the story, and then if you and then up here, it's basically exactly like how it is in the BrewMaster Quarterly. You can click on your jobs. Um, you could click on recipes, and then if you click on recipes, it's actually going to give you a oops. If you click on recipes, it'll give you a list of all of your recipes that you have, and then you can actually also create your own you can create your own recipes by clicking on the recipe creator, and you can edit or create your own recipes. Um, so you can name them and go through and create your own recipes here. So for the dark matter one, he suggests that we do the American Stout one. So so if you click on Stout, we could see the American Stout beer right here. So if we click on that, we can pin the recipe, and it'll change our recipe, our pinned recipe there on the right hand side. So let's go ahead and start doing that one now. So we're going to fill our pot up with 21 liters of water. I got that right on the nose, didn't I? We're going to go ahead and start heating that up. We're going to get our dark malt extract, which I don't think I purchased any. No, I didn't. Alright, so we're going to go into our catalog. We're going to click on pinned recipes. And I had forgotten to purchase the dark malt extract. So we'll have to go over here and go ahead and store it. And now if we come back in here, we can get our dark malt extract. How much did I need? 3 kilograms. Whoops. Alright, so we pour our dark malt extract into our brew pot here. We can go ahead and get rid of that. If we hit P, we can check off those steps. We need our black patent steepable grain. And I always forget to look how much we need of each recipe, so I always have to go back and re-look it again. I always forget. Alright, so now we add in our steepable grain. And now we have to boil our wort. Did I not? I did not turn the heater on. There we go. Okay, so now that's boiling. We can take out our steepable grain. And now we can add in our cluster hops, 20 grams. And we need 50 of Ruggles Green. Okay, so our cluster will go in for 50 minutes. So that'll go in till 21:11. And then we'll add in our Ruggles Greens, and that'll go in for 10 minutes. And then we can go ahead and take both of these out. And now we have to cool our wort down to 20 degrees again by clicking on the calendar and advancing a day. And then we can open up our empty fermentation container and go ahead and pour it in there. And I won't need that for today. And then we pour in our yeast. And now we can ferment both of these for 15 days. Well, actually, let's just make sure both of them are for 15 days. Yeah, they're both for 15 days. Okay, so we'll do both for 15 days. Okay, so this one we need 200 grams of sugar. So let's go ahead and pour in our sugar. And this one we need 170 sugar. All right. And now we put it into our conditioning containers. And we only need one hose. We don't need two hoses, so we're good there. All right. We connect. And then we can go ahead and detach the tube from that one. Whoops. And we're done with both of those. So now we could go ahead and condition both of these for 21 days. And now we can package and taste our beers. So, if we come over here into our tasting room and we hit taste beer, here's our dark stout that we made. Gives us our appearance. Our color is 201.8 SRMs. Carbonation is 3.02 volumes. Our batch size, our clarity is extremely hazy. We're a little bit on the malty and sweet side. So as you can see, we have a smoky, quite a bit of a smoky flavor to it, a hoppy and bitter, crisp and clean, dark and roasted, malty and sweet, fruit and spice. Our all flavor is in there. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. We have a 7.2% alcohol level and a 51.5 bitterness. We have a very heavy body, a contamination level of 10%, and then here's our gravity level. And then our recipe matches American Stout, so we can hit continue. And then some jobs require you to brew a certain style of beer. To meet that requirement, be sure to select the style here, though it will need to be one of the top 5 styles that best match your beer. Once you're done packaging your beer, you can submit it to a job or return to the workshop. If you choose the latter, the finished conditioning container will be placed in the keg rack or cellar for later use. So if you hit continue, and then we can name it oops. So if we hit continue to workshop, it's going to give us our display bottle. Let's put that here there for now. But here's where our keg of the beer that we just made is. Now, if we hit E, we could submit the beer to the job, and we could select which job we want to submit it for. And if we look at dark matter, and we look at if it which requirements it fits, if it fits that requirement, it'll be checked off. And as you can see, our beer does meet every requirement, including the bonus requirements. So we'll get all 3 of these rewards. If we hit submit beer now, we get the completed checkbox for the job. And if we hit continue, we get the tutorial complete. Congratulations on completing your first job and finishing the tutorial. What next? That's up to you. You could try out the second job, experiment with other brews, or even decorate your workshop with using build mode. When you're ready, head to the front door to advance to the next season and the next stage in the story. Good luck, brewer. As you can see, the keg that we had is gone because we submitted it to the job. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to submit the second one. We're going to go ahead and complete the second job since we already had the beer ready here. And you can tell that this beer is a lighter in color. As you can see, the off is a little is lower on this one than it was on the other one. And then if we hit continue, we get some. If we click on submit beer here,
To submit a beer to a job, it must match the requirements. Once a beer is submitted, it will be lost, but you'll get to keep a bottle of it for display. So if we click on this, as we can see, the beer that we brewed does meet all the requirements. So we could go ahead and click on submit beer, and we'll get all 3 of our bonuses here. So we could go ahead and hit space, and then we can go ahead and place that bottle right there. And then we are done for this season. So then we can come on over here, and we can go ahead and advance to the next season. This will end the current season. You will lose any beers during the process of brewing, but finished beers, conditioning containers that have been through the packaging process will be unaffected. What this means is any beers that we've brewed and have been through the packaging process, if you were to have your beer in a conditioning container and you brought it over here and you brought it over and you went through the whole process here, and you had the keg sitting over in one of these over one of these stands, like we had our stout beer sitting over here. When you go to advance to the next season, that keg will still be here, like this one that we did in our first tutorial. How this one is still here. Any beers that are sitting over here will still be here. So we could go ahead and advance to the next season. And we're going to end this episode today. You have a great day, and thank you for watching.